Yo, what's up, dope family? What's good? What's popping with y'all today? So listen, I am back with another dope word from God. Dap me up, sis. Dap me up, bro. Listen, y'all. So let's just talk because when I woke up this morning, God gave me a song and I've been singing this song. I've been in praise and worship with God all day today. I've been in, my heart is full. My spirit is full. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful to God. I'm so thankful for all the ways that God has made in my life. You feel me? And the song that God gave me was Travis Green, You Made a Way. And the song goes, You made a way when my back was against the wall and it looked as if it was over. You made a way, and we're standing here only because you made a way. Listen, that has been ministering to me all day because it's so ironic that God gave me that song, because just a couple of days ago I released a video. I posted a video titled Don't Look Back, and in that video I was saying the only time that you should be looking back is to see how far you've come. And today, that's what God did for me. God allowed me to look back on 2023 to see how far he has brought me, to see how far I've come. You feel me? Because y'all listen, God reminded me of where I was January 2023. And let me just give y'all a brief description of what my life looked like in January of 2023. So when January hit, I had been without a job for 7 months. Well, actually, I had been without a job for 9 months, but I had been looking for a job for 7 months. And I work in the healthcare field, and I'm a respiratory therapist, and there are always 95% of the time, there are always jobs available. You feel me? But for some reason, I could not find a job. Nobody was calling me. Everybody I called, I was either, not getting an answer, or I was being pushed, to the side. Nobody could tell me anything. So by the time January hit, I was without a job. I had no money. I had 2 bank accounts. Both of them were in the negative. My car was behind, and then my car was eventually repossessed in January of 2023. With all of that, and then on top of that, friendships ended out of nowhere. People walked away from me. So by the time January hit, it was only me and my 3 children. And I was sitting in our 3-bedroom apartment feeling lost. You feel me? Feeling helpless, confused, not knowing what was going on. You feel me? Because I did not understand what it was that God was doing in my life at that time. You feel me? So I remember one day in January, it seems as if my walls were caving in on me. And I was crying out to God. And I'm asking God, what is this? What is this? I'm doing a self-examination of my life, trying to see, where I went wrong, asking God, is it me? I'm thinking, am I being punished? Because I felt like I was being punished. You feel me? And I was crying out to God, and I said, God, I need some answers. God, I need some answers. God, I need to know. I need to understand what's going on. God, speak to me. And God began to show me how he was working in my life, how he was moving in my life. And God began to show me, that I was starting to go through a transformation, that he was doing something in me. And I remember saying, God, I don't understand it, but I trust you. I said, God, I don't understand it, but I trust you. And I ask you to give me your peace and your strength in the middle of this storm, because I literally felt like I was sitting right in the middle of a typhoon, y'all. It's like it felt like I could feel the wind. I could feel the storm around me. And it was so strong. It was so powerful, y'all. It was so strong. I could feel it. And the only thing I could do was cry out to God. I was praying and asking God, God, don't let me and my children go homeless, because I couldn't even pay my rent. I was even getting eviction notices. You feel me? I was getting eviction notices. And I was crying out to God, and I was like, God, I know what your word said. You said that you would provide us with what we need. I said, God, I'm not asking you for what I want right now. I'm not asking you for what my heart desire right now. I'm just asking you to do what you promised me. And that is to provide me with my needs, with the things that I need. I said, God, I know you're not going to let me go homeless. I know you're not going to let me and my children go without. I know you're not going to let me go hungry. I know you're going to make a way for me to provide for my children. You feel me? That's why that song is so purposeful today, because God made a way for me. When I say there was no other way, nobody but God could have done what he did for me. I remember God telling me that this was nothing that I've done. It had nothing to do with the sin. You feel me? God was like, he was telling me it wasn't anything I've done. But God told me he's using my life. He's using my testimony. He's using my story for his glory. And once I understood that, I said, okay, God, I trust you. I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to stand 10 toes down with you. I know it's going to get hard, because God told me, he said, if you stand with me, he said it's going to get harder before it gets better. He said, but if you stick with me, if you hang in there with me, I promise you, I'm going to bless you 100-fold. He said, I'm going to make it worth your wait. I'm going to make it worth your while. I'm going to make it count. That's what God told me. I'm going to make it count. He said, just hang in there with me. I need to use you. You are the chosen one. That's what God told me. You are the chosen one. You are the one that I'm using, that's, to break these generational patterns, the generational curses from your bloodline. You are the one that I'm using in this world for people to see my goodness, for people to see and feel my love, for people to learn of me. I'm using you. He said, I got something I need to say. So I need you to be my mouthpiece. But before I can send you out, I got to take you through training. Y'all, I was in straight boot camp all of 2023. I was in the field. You feel me? And I know I'm not the only one. And I know that's why God had me to record this video, because I know that I'm not the only one. I know that there are many of you that can also say, God made a way when there was no way. I know that you can say when your back was against the wall. Listen, when I tell you I was sitting in that room crying out, sobbing to God because my back was against the wall. I looked at my account, there was nothing. But the bills never stopped coming. My children never stopped asking. I still didn't have the money to pay it. You feel me? And I was like, God, I know you're here, but I need you to show up in this moment. I need you to show up. And every single time God came through for me. You feel me? There's a part in that song that says, you move mountains, you cause walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made a way. Listen. God moved mountains in my life, and I seen it for myself. Mountains of fear, mountains of doubt, mountains of insecurity. God moved mountains. God caused walls to fall in my life in 2023. Walls of doubt. The walls of generational curses. Those thought patterns. You feel me? That slave mentality. That lack mindset. That poverty-stricken mindset. God caused me to break down those walls. You feel me? And then there's another part of the song, which is my favorite part. It says, don't know how, but you did it. You made a way. Don't know why, but I'm grateful. You made a way. Listen, that right there, take me in every time. Because God, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you got me out of that pit that I was in. God, I don't know how you got me out of that hole, that deep hole that seems like I was sinking even the more. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. But I'm grateful. I don't know why you did it, God. I don't know why you chose me. I don't know why you decided to use me. But I'm grateful, God. I don't know why you did it. Because listen, so many times God told me to go right and I went the opposite direction. So many times I've strayed away from the righteous path of God. So many times I've disobeyed. You feel me? But God still chose me. And I'm telling you that it doesn't matter what it looked like, what you've been through. If God say you're the one, you're the one. When God says he's pulling you out, he's pulling you out. Today, it's like God allowed me to go back, you know what I'm saying, and have a moment with my 2023. And I had to tell 2023, thank you. Thank you for every test, every trial, every hurdle, every hill, every mountain, every valley, every storm. Thank you. Because it showed me, first of all, who God is. It showed me God's power, his authority, and his love for me. Then it showed me that God has favor on my life. Because the things I went through, had God given it to somebody else, you probably wouldn't have made it. Listen, God allowed me to look back over my 2023, and God began to show me a resemblance of the things in the Bible. First, God showed me how I was a Jonah in one season, because God had been telling me to start this YouTube channel. God had been telling me this for 2 years. You feel me? And my response to God every time was, God, I'm not ready. God, I got insecurities. You feel me? And I also was like, God, those people don't want to hear me. I'm a country girl. You know, I talk fast. Sometimes I stutter. And then God said, look at you. You sounding like Moses. Because Moses told God, You want me to lead your people, but I have a speech impediment. I have a speech problem. I stutter when I talk. And that's what I was telling God. I was making excuses, y'all. But God showed me how it went. At one point, I was a Moses. At one point, I was a Jonah because I was running from God's instructions. And just like Jonah ran from God. He ran from God's instruction, and he found himself in the belly of a whale. And I found myself in the midst, in the middle of my apartment, crying out to God, reaching out to God. You feel me? And God told me, until you do what I told you to do, you're going to continue to fall flat on your face. Until you do what I told you to do, I'll make sure you got what you need, but I'm not going to bless what you want. I will not give you the things that your heart desire until you follow me, until you do what I told you to do. Do what I said do, and do it the way I said do it. So God showed me that. Then God began to show me that I was like the children in the wilderness, because God separated me. He pulled me away from everything that was familiar around me. Everything that I knew, God pulled me from it. He separated me. And he had to get me alone so that I could hear him clearly, so that he could have my undivided attention, and so that I would know that it's him. And then God began to show me how in one season I was a Job, because God stripped me. Y'all listen, God stripped me of everything except for my children and our place of dwelling. I had nothing else. I had no money. I had no car. I had no friends. The only thing around me that was familiar was my immediate family. So God showed me that, at one point, I was a Job. And then God showed me how in one season I was a David, because God chose me. God called my name. And then God put me on the front line to fight my Goliath. You feel me? He put me on the front line to fight the Goliath, to break those generational curses, to break the things that, that wasn't pleasing to God. Because listen, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be transparent. When God was calling me, I still had one foot in, I still was in the world. I had one foot, with God, and then I had another foot in the world. And how many of you know you can't straddle the fence? It's either you're in or you're out. So God was like, no, this can't work. It's either you choose me and you give me all of you, or you go on over there and have fun with the world. But listen, when you go over there, I'm going to give you what you want. And I did that. I went over there. And God let me fall flat on my face, y'all. Listen. So when God was calling me out, there was still some things in me that was worldly that God was pulling out of me. So that's why God had to pull me out of everything that was familiar, everything that I knew, everybody that I knew, because God was like, these people can't go with you into your next. These old habits can't go with you to your next. I got something greater for you. I got something I need you to do. And in order for you to be a world changer, in order for you to speak my word, in order for my word to dwell in you, I need you to be clean. I need you to be whole. And I need you to be right. And God was showing me that the reason that I went through all of that I went through in 2023 is because in order for me to be able to tell you about the goodness of God, I can't tell you about something I haven't experienced. I can't tell you about something I haven't been through. So God said, in order for you to tell my people about me, about him, then he had to take me through all of the stuff that he took me through all of those seasons that he took me through, in order for me to tell you about what he can do for you. So I don't know who this word is for today. I don't know who you are that's listening. I don't know who it is that God has me speaking to. But maybe you found yourself in the place that I was in January of 2023. Or maybe you have been there and you're coming out, but you may be still going through. I'm here to tell you that God is making a way for you. God is in it with you. God just wants you to stay committed. Stay committed to the journey. That's what God wants you to do. And as long as you stick it out with God, your overflow is going to be so great. It's going to run over. And God is saying you won't have enough room to receive it. The mind-blowing miracles that God is going to do in your life. I'm talking about in the midst of you going through. In the midst of you going through your trial. In the midst of you going through this season that you're currently in. God is going to blow your mind. He's going to show you his hand. He's going to show you his power. He's going to show you his love. He's going to show you his protection. He's going to show you that the devil can't do anything with you as long as you're in his arms, as long as you're covered by him. God is going to show you so much. But you got to stay committed. You got to stay committed to the journey. And I know that it's hard. And I know that it's easier said than done. But if God chose you for it, then there's a purpose for it. You feel me? There's a purpose for it. God chose you because God knows what's inside of you. And God is trying to show you what's inside of you. There are some things in you that God is trying to pull out of you. There are some things in you that God is about to birth in you. God says due season is now. You're due. Your due season is now. And God is about to bring forth a thing that is so great, but it's so needed in this earth. It's so needed in this world, in this season. It's needed in this time because God is raising up his generation of people who is going to turn this world upside down, who is going to get things back in the way that God has intended for them to be. You feel me? God is raising up his people, his chosen ones. So if God called you, if God called you up out of what you was in, then that means you're special to God. First of all, because if he thought enough of you, that says something about you. That says that God sees something in you that he want to use for his glory. That says that you carry something. That says that you're special in the eyesight of God, because God can't use everybody and he won't use everybody. But if he has chosen you, then you're special. So what I need you to do is stay committed. Stay committed. Stay committed. It's the song, I just keep hearing it say, you move mountains. Listen, every mountain, every hurdle, every valley, every stronghold, every wall, God is going to move it. He's going to break it. He's going to take you over. God will not leave you. Just don't you leave him. God will not put you in something and leave you in it. You feel me? Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be tough. And it has to be. Because in order for you to tell others, then you got to go through the process. You got to know just what it feels like to be in the midst of a situation and God pull you out of it. You got to know what that means. You got to know what that looks like. You got to know what that feels like, because there's somebody coming behind you that needs to know that. There's somebody that's coming behind you that needs to hear your story. There's somebody that's coming behind you that needs your testimony in order for them to gain that strength and that momentum to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep pushing. There's somebody that God is going to send your way that's going to need your strength. You feel me? So that's why you're in this. And I just want to tell you, don't give up. Don't lose hope. You're not alone. I don't care how dark it is. I don't care how deep the hole is. Listen, when you can't reach out to God, He will reach down to you. When you can't get up, God will come down to your level and pull you out. I'm telling you what I know. Because listen, God is reminding me, just like the children of Israel when they were in the wilderness and they had to depend on God to give them manna every single day. That was me. That was me, y'all. I know what it is to depend totally, solely, and completely on God. When I say I felt just like the children of Israel, because God had to provide for me every single day. And I promise you, every single day, I'm talking about literally, every single day I woke up and my words to God was, okay, God, what it is that you want me to do today? And provide me with the resources to do it. There were some days God didn't even give me but $13. And I'm not joking. There were some days God allowed somebody to bless me with $8. But I promise you, every day that God allowed me to be blessed, He blessed me with just enough for that day. Every single day. There was not a day that we went hungry. There was not a day that God did not provide for us. God provided manna every single day. And then God blessed me with a job in March. You feel me? And then I started seeing, I started seeing a little light. But even with that, how many of you know that even when, God started pulling you out, things don't just turn around right then. It's still a process. So God blessed me with a job, but it was still hard. Because even when He blessed me with a job, I did not have a car. So God still provided. He made a way for me to get to work. You feel me? He blessed me with everything that I need, every step of the way. And God reminded me of that today, on how every single time I needed something, He came through. He made a way. You feel me? I can't even tell you all the ways that God made for me in 2023. I can't even tell you how He did it. All I know is I'm grateful. All I know is I'm grateful. I don't know why He chose me, but I'm grateful. I don't know why He did what He did in my life, but I'm grateful. And then I finally gave God my yes. You know what I'm saying? God had been speaking to me. Even when He gave me this job, He kept saying, okay, now I need you to start this YouTube channel. I got something to say. I need you to start this YouTube channel. And then, I was like, okay, God. So at first, I started posting to Facebook. I started posting to my Facebook page. And I still wasn't doing what God told me to do. I still was being disobedient because God never said Facebook. God said YouTube. So God, still said, nope, that's not what I said. I said YouTube. So then here I go. I'm like, okay, God. So I started taking the little short videos that I had posted to Facebook, and I started posting them to YouTube. And even then, God said, nope, that's not what I told you to do. I told you to start the YouTube channel, and I told you to say what I tell you to say. I didn't tell you to cut it short. I didn't tell you to put a limit on my word. I told you to say what I say, tell my people. Speak what I say, speak. And I did that. November 15th. I did that. And listen, yesterday, God blew my mind. 6,000 subscribers in 7 weeks. Something that it has taken some people years. God did it for me in 7 weeks. 7. He completed a thing. He completed a thing. God said, if you start it, if you plant the seed, I'll water it and I'll give the increase. And God has sent people in my life to water the seed that I planted. He sent people. And God has given me the increase. And I want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all. Every subscriber, every like, every share, every comment, every encouraging word. Y'all, I'm so grateful because God chose me. And just like God did it for me, He wants to do it for you. It may not be a YouTube channel, but whatever it is that God has told you to start it. Whatever God has told you to do, this is your confirmation. God is saying, do it, and do it now. Do it the way that God told you to do it. And God is going to bless it tremendously. God said He's going to blow your mind if you just do it. 2024 is our season. 2024, God is God's gift to us. 2024, God is showing us His hand. And God is saying, if you just trust me, if you just be obedient, I'll hold my part. I'll do my part. I'll hold my end of the bargain. Because God can never make a promise and break it. Because that ceases to make Him God. God cannot tell you a lie. You feel me? So I don't know who I'm talking to today. But I know I'm talking to somebody. I know that this word is for somebody. I know that this word is needed in this hour. Somebody is going through something and they don't know how they're going to make it. And I'm here to tell you that you're going to make it with God. You're going to make it with Jesus. He's right there. Even when it feels lonely, even when it feels cold, even when it feels like you're not hearing God, He's there. When God is silent, He's working. Trust Him. Continue to do what He told you to do last. You feel me? But don't give up on God. Don't give up on God. Don't get off course. Because the devil, that's what he wants. He's going to send you all types of distractions. He's going to throw everything he can your way. Because he knows that when you walk this thing out with God, and when you come to the end of this season, that God has a reward so great for you. And the devil don't want you to have it. Because he knows that is going to pull you even closer to God. Because when we do what we're supposed to do, God is going to do what He's supposed to do. And when God does His part, then that just increases our faith even more, because it's like, see, I told you, I got you. And that makes you lean and depend on God even more, so that when you go through the next test, your faith is already up there. And you know that, listen, God brought me through one of the toughest battles of my life. God brought me through one of the toughest seasons of my life. And if God did it for me then, I know he gonna do it for me now. And then God also wants you to know that if he puts you in it, he's in it with you. Remember the 3 Hebrew boys? They went in the fire furnace and God got in there with them. And they came up out of there not even smelling like smoke. God said you're going to come up out of your season not even smelling like smoke. You won't even look like what you've been through. Do you hear me? God said you won't look like what you've been through. You won't smell like smoke. People will look at you and won't even know the hell you've been through. People won't know that you've been in a pit. Come on, Joseph. People won't know that you were put in a pit. People won't know that you've been put in prison. All they're going to see is that you're now living in the palace. Come on, God. You feel me? People won't know that you were at the edge and you almost jumped. People won't know that you almost let go. People won't know that because you won't look like it. I don't look like what I've been through. I don't look like I was sitting at a river, at a lake, ready to drive my car over in it. I don't look like that. I don't look like the hell I've been through. But I can tell you, I've been through some things. I've been through some things. And if God did it for me, God is no respect of person. If he did it for me, then I'm here to tell you, he's gonna do it for you. It's not if he does it. It's when he does it. So you got to just stick it out with God. Yes, it's going to get hard. Yes, it's going to be sometimes your faith is going to get low. Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. Because it happened to me. It was sometimes that I was like, come on, God. I need you to do something. I need you to show me something. I need you to send a word. I need you to build my faith up. I need you to pour me some faith in my faith bank because I'm getting a little low. And every time he did it. He came through every single time. And y'all listen. God was so good to me. Y'all listen. God was so good to me. God sent an angel my way. Let me tell you how God works. I told y'all I could not pay my rent, right? Listen, let me tell you how God works. God moved management around over that apartment complex. And he sent an angel there. And I always say it was just for me. He did it for me, y'all, because I couldn't pay my rent. And I did not know what I was going to do. And I was getting eviction notice. I was getting notices after notices saying if I don't pay within 7 days, then I was going to have to move. And I couldn't pay within the 7 days. But I never got put out. And then it came down to it, y'all. I kept hearing God say move. I just kept hearing the word move. And then I start hearing people. I start hearing words. You know what I'm saying? I was hearing prophetic words that God is getting ready to move me. That God was getting ready to move me. People kept saying God is getting ready to move you. And I didn't see it because the place that I was in looked nothing like a move. You feel me? I could barely pay my bills. I was like, I know God is not talking to me because he hasn't provided me with the resources. My finances are low. You know, that's what I was thinking. But let me tell you how God orchestrated this thing. So God allowed this lady to have mercy on me. God gave me favor with time. God gave me favor with time. This lady knew nothing about me. That's why I know she was God sent. She knew nothing about me. And I wasn't the only one over there whose, rent was behind. I wasn't the only person over there who was delinquent. But I know God did it for me. He did it because I was there. How many of you know that God will save other people because you're there? And God did it for me and the other people. But God allowed this lady to have mercy on me. You know what I'm saying? And this lady did not put me out. And then when it was time for me to move, because God knew that I wouldn't have moved on my own, because I thought that I did not have the resources. I thought that I did not have enough money. Then God allowed the eviction notice to come through. You know what I'm saying? He allowed all of this to happen. Another management took over. And then they told me that if I didn't have the money in 5 days, then I would have to move, right? God was still giving me favor with time. So I did not have the money. So then she said that it would go on to court. So then I got a paper in the mail from the court system saying, it was asking, do I agree? Whatever. I never did sign the paper. This lady, the lady that God sent, was actually still there at the time. And I went and talked to her, and she was telling me different things. She was telling me what to do. And so I did not sign the paper. I did not do anything. I just kept trusting God. I didn't do anything. I was like, okay, God, this is yours. This is on you, because I've done all that I know to do. God sent me to talk to that lady. I went and talked to her, and she had mercy on me. That was what God told me to do. So I've done all I know to do. I still don't have any money, God. So now it's on you. This is what I'm saying to God. So I'm like, God, I know you're not going to allow me to go homeless. I know you're not going to allow me and my children to be without a roof over our head. And I was even saying, and God, I know you're not going to move us, cause me to have to move in, because I could have moved in. I could have moved back with my parents, or I could have moved in with my sister. But I was like, God, that's not a place, that's not my comfort zone. I need my own space. Because God, I know you've already called me to a place of peace. Even though my life was chaotic, I was still in a place of peace, because God promised me, and he did it, that he would give me a peace that I couldn't even understand. When God said he would give you peace that surpasses your understanding, he will do it. He did it for me. And he gave me a peace. And so y'all listen, I end up looking for houses. I was like, so God ended up telling me to start looking for a house. So I started looking at houses. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, God, like I could barely pay my rent now. So these houses are more. So what you talking about, God? And God was like, I know, but I need you to keep looking. And so I found this house that I'm in, and I took it back to God, and I prayed about it. And I did the application, and I said, God, it's on you. If this is your will, then let it be done. And y'all listen, didn't I just say that my car had been repoed? So my credit was shot. You feel me? All of my bills were behind. Everything that I had, loans, my accounts were closed, everything. So my credit was shot. But God allowed me to get approved for this house in the middle of my storm, in the middle of going through my toughest season. So I'm here to tell you, whoever you are that I'm talking to, I'm here to tell you, don't count God out. Don't count God out. He will do it for you while you are in the midst of your situation. He don't have to wait until you come out. He'll do it for you in the middle. In the middle of it. Trust God. Trust God. Don't lose hope in God. Don't lose hope in God. He's going to do it for you. He's going to come through for you. I don't know how he did it. And I'm not even worried. I'm not even trying to figure out how he did it. Because God's ways are not man's ways. We could never understand the ways of God. We would never understand the mind of God. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So I don't know how he did it. And I'm really not even concerned how he did it. I'm just thankful and grateful that he did it. I'm so thankful that he kept me when I didn't even know how to keep myself. I'm so grateful that he kept me in my right mind when I thought I was about to lose my mind. And so many of you be in the comments, you know what I'm saying? And I hear you. I feel you. I feel your pain. I feel you. I'm telling you, I feel you and I understand. And I pray for each and every one of you. But I'm here to tell you, hang in there. Stick it out with God. Don't lose hope. Don't lose your faith. God is right there with you, and he's going to bring you out, okay? Listen, I know that this video was long, but I had to get it out. I had to say what God is telling me to say because I know that this is for somebody. And I'm just here as your dope sister to tell you, if God did it for me, I'm no different. I'm no more special than you are. So if he did it for me, then he's going to do it for you. Continue to show up every single day. Show up for you. Show up for God. Show up for your children. Show up for your family. Show up for your future. You feel me? Show up. Show up, okay? Listen, y'all. God love you. Your dope sister love you. But always make sure that you love you. And you are only dope because God is dope. Don't ever play with him. Period. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. And I'll see y'all on the next. Peace.